What's up everyone on YouTube? TheMainManSWE here, hoping everyone is doing awesome as always. We are yet again watching content creator Jeremy. He will in this video be talking about Jin and Kazuya. I think it's regarding their balancing lately, how they do in Season 3 and what he sees as unnecessary buffs or unnecessary nerfs. So yes, I will be doing a critique on this. This will be the last time. It's just that I'm bombarded with requests from my viewers to please watch Jeremy's this video, this video, this video. So this is gonna be the last one, and hopefully it's interesting because I think he will share an opinion that I most likely, it's one of those opinions I hear a lot from you guys or, you know, on forums. So it can be a nice debate.
And where to get the game where it should be the most. And the way we're going to fucking do that is I've already touched on this before, but we're going to look at two of the sports cars in Tekken side by side. We're going to look at Tekken like it's a Dodge dealership, okay? But two of the sports cars, we're going to look at Kazuya and Jin. But what I want to do, I've touched on this before, is how similar these characters are. But I want to show you side by side.
So we watched a video by Jeremy earlier where he said that Jin and Kazuya are almost identical characters, and yeah, I made some points saying that they are really not, although they have similarities.
These guys' moves, and we're just going to quickly go through their moves lists and show them side by side so you can see how fucking ridiculously similar these characters are with their moves. Watch this. In your head.
Okay, the song needed about half a second to make me want to shove a very, very rusty cheese grinder up my ass and bleed to death. So, is it alright if I mute this? Okay, but this will be muted. So there's no text, he's just showing things. Oh, these are the same moves. Alright, so I'll just restart here. It's just so fast, and he only has music in the background. I guess he's not even explaining. So I'm gonna set this to slow, I guess. Half speed. So, okay, I don't know what the first move was. Their hell sweep is basically the same. Not really. Not really. But you can say they're similar, definitely. It's the same archetype of a move, so you can agree with him here. But now he compared... I don't know if I maybe saw wrong. It looked like he compared Kazuya's Thunder God Fist to Jin's CD1. Okay, he did. But maybe he means that the input is the same, so that means they are the same. That's... no. Huh? Yes, yes. Oh, come on. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No. No, no, no. Absolutely not, Jeremy. Slightly similar, though. What? Oh, come on. But this is half speed and I can barely keep up. And because I have to watch two screens at the same time. Like, what's that character doing? What's that character doing? That's quite similar. That's 12 frame mid punish. No, definitely not. Definitely not. No. Are we almost done? Like, how many moves are Oh, it just keeps going. Okay, we're gonna skip some of them. We're gonna go to next vocal part.
Or story mode, and Jin was like, I'm changing my fighting style. And then I actually played him. I was like, all right, Jin, whatever you say. The only difference that I've noticed in Tekken 4 Jin is it's like your hook foot doesn't launch and you don't have family circus. Other than that, I was just like, bro, if you say so. But
What?
I want to give you all, if y'all weren't paying attention, I want to give you this quick tip because I don't see any other Kazuya players doing this. Again, I'll make a separate video of some very underused tools of Kazuya that are fucking badass that Kazuya players can start using immediately. But like Kazuya's long range game is fucking boss, and nobody's even scratching the surface. And I've been using this for a bit, and it's shit is fun. Y'all can pick this up immediately. Like again, learning from. Hold on. All right, like with Jin. Right, he's got this for good long range, right? Again, Kazuya players, you can learn from this shit, because what you don't understand is this motherfucker right here is insane. Look at the fucking range on this thing. This is about full fucking screen, and it's a medium. Between that and this, you have some of the best long range tools in the game. Between that and like,
Okay, Kazuya's Ford 3 has very bad tracking. It has very bad frames on block. It's unsafe. It doesn't knock down a normal hit. Jin's Demon Paw knocks down. It's faster. It has more tracking. It wall splats. It's perfectly safe. So these moves are completely different to each other.
The Oki on this.
And Demon Paw can very easily and efficiently be done out of a wave dash or crouch dash by doing a crouch dash or wave dash and then inputting forward 2. You can't do that with Kazuya's forward 3, and you wouldn't even want to be able to do that considering it's unsafe.
This, when it hits counter hit, it's just absurd. And again,
No, it's not absurd. Nothing is guaranteed on counter it.
Oops.
Sidestep 3 is super strong. That move is really good. Really, really good. But it's used as a keep out. Demon Paw is used as an offensive tool. Pressure tool. So very different moves. Not exactly the same category of attack, I would say.
Right there. Between these three moves, especially these two, you have an amazing
sidestep 3 is very slow.
Long range safe poke.
So it's more.
Start using that immediately. Again, I have some other some really cool fucking tricks with Kazuya I'll show, but y'all can pick that up immediately. But moving on, let's get back to the point at hand. I just wanted to show y'all that. I'll make another video. Okay, now that we've got our sports cards going on, I want to use a Dodge dealership because for the last year I've been thinking about getting a Challenger. I'm pretty much sold on it the last month or so. So I'll probably be getting one hopefully in the next couple of months. If I do, I'll definitely post that because I'm looking forward to it. But it's a good comparison because not only that, but Eris actually has a Charger, and that's cool because we can now show the similarities and differences between the cars and two different Tekken players that have a lot of common and a lot of differences. But just like these two, we'll look at them like a car dealership. But let's just say, okay, you go to a Dodge dealership and you say you want a Hellcat. Well, you're going to have to be specific of which one you want. Do you want a Challenger or you want a Charger, right? So we got the Challenger and we got a Charger. Now, the thing about these, they're both Hellcats. They're both powerful, but they both, you got a 2-door and you got the 4-door version. That's basically it. But
Well,
under
I
the
gotta
hood, they
say,
basically,
every
you know,
time
both-
he strays off
think they got the
topic
same
for a
engines
couple of
there.
minutes, I just look at
whatnot, but they're
his
both
drawing of
powerful,
himself
respected
here. You
cars.
can
It's
see on
just
the wall, and I
preference of what you want.
I get a little
But
giggle.
under the hood, basically, they got the same things, right? Okay, so now it's just basically it just ends up being what preference do you want? You want 2-door and this look, or do you want 4-door and that look? But under the hood, you're getting about
Honestly,
the
if
same
I
thing.
could
It's
draw,
just
I would
preference,
also
right?
have a drawing of myself going. I gotta love it.
No difference here. Absolutely none. But now let's look at it from a business aspect. And
My God, really?
how Namco decided to do the season 3, but we're going to do a comparison using these cars. So, okay, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that we're in season 2 of a dealership. Now, let's
Just
say
get to the
that,
point.
these owners of these cars are content with what they have, but the people who own.
I don't understand. Why are we talking about cars? Why not just say, this is Jin in 5 sentences, and this is Kazuya, and this is why I feel very similar?
These, they're missing some stuff, and instead of saying, "Hey, I need this stuff for here," they start complaining. They start complaining that they don't have this stuff, and they start looking at other cars and vehicles and stuff like that, and saying, "Hey, we don't have that stuff. What's going on here?" Now, the corporate will look at that and they'll be like, "Listen, we want to revamp this, but we want everybody happy." Now, these guys are complaining because they don't have enough stuff.
This is torture.
We want to add some stuff to this one, but we don't want to piss these guys off more if we add stuff to this. So how do we go about this? So they're like, "Okay, let's brainstorm. I have an idea. What we'll do is we'll give these guys more horsepower. But what we'll do with this car is we'll take out a little bit of the horsepower, but update the dashboard."
Thanks for
Because
subbing,
that's what
man.
we want to do. And so, like, let's say hypothetically, they're able to, with a click of the button, and without these owners' permission, one day everybody who owns one of these cars comes out, and they're missing some horsepower, but their dash
Tekken gifted a tier
is-
1 sub to
their dash is
Hanzo_93.
All right, and then these guys come out and they have a
Thanks
little bit
so
of
much, man.
horsepower, but they don't have an updated dash. So what? How do you think these customers are going to feel? Both parties have now not gotten what they want, but the mindset is they're thinking we're trying to make this even for everybody, but they went about it wrong, right? Because the owners of these cars got horsepower taken away. But the owners of these cars know that these people were complaining about some of the things they didn't have. So, how do you think these guys feel now? And how do you think these guys feel when all they got was a little bit of horsepower but no updated dash? These guys got an updated dash and lost a little bit of horsepower. Now nobody's happy. Because who have you really put a bitter taste?
It's like
You put a bitter taste.
he's
in not
almost.
just one.
It's at the point where he's either
You put a bitter
just
taste in
this
a bunch of
unbelievably
your
sharp genius where I
Again,
can't even
here's-
comprehend.
Here's the character usage chart.
Hey, thanks for completely
Here's all the
fucking
geniuses.
my ass with that.
Thousands of them that now have a bitter taste in their mouth. Here's all the Kazuya players.
Thanks for that
still
pause, Jeremy.
Do not have what
Hey,
they need.
thanks.
So both these parties are still unsatisfied. and
Gotta
not
pause
where
it
they
where I
need
look
to
like
be.
a
It's been
serial
brought
rapist,
down,
right?
it's been shifted
Couldn't
around.
have paused anywhere
Now, Kazuya
else.
players
Right,
do
Jeremy?
have a right to ask for things that they don't have.
What a fucking asshole. I always make sure he doesn't have a dumb face when I pause.
We saw
I
all the
always look for the
similarities,
dumb
if you start
face,
going
but
through
here
the
it's
list
like
again, Kazuya,
he
you
must
will
have
see
skipped
that
through
there
the
is a
entire video
layer
just to go, oh, here he looks
when
like
you
a
start going down
pedophile.
that list.
Click,
But he,
let's record.
Kazuya doesn't have enough pokes. Okay?
But honestly, with Jeremy, it's either, like I said, either he's this unbelievably sharp genius where I can't even begin to comprehend his argumentation because I'm like, I just don't get it. Or it's like, he's about as clever as a very, very old toaster. But
now
could be
that's
200
where he should
IQ.
have been, upgraded at, right? And they need it. But both of the now all thousands upon thousands of these customers are now unsatisfied because okay, so basically what happened is in season
Go back,
3,
you missed his point. Are you
I
sure there
understand
was
the
one?
mindset. I do, I get it. I understand the mindset. But in season 3, he got completely revamped and he only got one move. And both of their new moves do the exact same thing. Make combos easy, they extend it, do bigger wall carrier, and do a bit more damage. You guys wanted to do that. But he also got, his wall bounce, which is awesome. And by the way, that was brilliant. Whoever had the idea of revamping Season 3's wall bounce, I looked it over. That was brilliant. Whoever did that was brilliant because you guys wanted that incremented into the game, and the way you did it was extremely intelligent. You made useful moves.
Why is he talking about
implement
wall
that
bounce?
in the game? And I mean, I kind of marvel at how brilliant that was redone. But that was also something that we didn't ask for. That's something you wanted to do. Now you could have added that.
I feel like Jeremy is one of those guys who will talk when he explains something to you.
The way that it should have been done, because
He'll talk about an insignificant detail for 50 minutes, and then the final 15 seconds he'll talk about the overarching point. Oh, by the way, blah 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 blah, bye, and then it's over. And it's, I feel like when you want to do a proper presentation, you grab the audience's attention by, within the first minute, establishing this is exactly what I'm going to present in this video, but in a few sentences. And after that, you start deconstructing every one of those sentences in slightly larger and meatier chunks of presentation. And then towards the end, for those who are interested, you go into the details, the tiny clusters of information. Because by that time, you've lost most of your audience. Most people have a pretty short attention span. But Jeremy, it's the complete opposite. He reverses that, throws it on top of its head, starts with the tiny, tiny clusters, devotes a lot of time to them, and then, if you're lucky by the end, he will make some form of general consensus point, which you would have hoped he would have put at the start.
Car dealership did it right. Okay, so these cars are extremely similar, right? But this is what the Dodge dealership did. This has had the wide body for a couple years now, but now in 2020, this is finally getting the wide body. And
My God, are we still with the cars?
Now both these customers are going to be satisfied because it just brought this one up to where it needed to be, but they didn't take away from this one to make this one better.
We're still talking about cars.
See, and
okay, blasted salami. Go jump from a bridge. Jeremy is.
They should have done the exact opposite. These customers were already satisfied where they were. So all you really needed to do is give him one move and completely revamped him and got him where he needed to be. And just like a car dealership, now both the customers are happy. Because you could look at Tekken like a car dealership. You go on there and you have, different preferences. You go to Dodge, you're going to have Hellcats, you're going to have trucks, you're going to have vans, you're going to have normal 4-door cars, you're going to have regular 2-door cars, and it's just like the character roster of Tekken. I mean, they all get gas, they all got 4 wheels, you press the gas.
We are at 20 minutes, Ducky.
They do the same thing.
We are at 20 minutes.
Just like Tekken, but it's, and in the end, it's just preference. These people want, they want the same horsepower and stuff like that, but it's just preference. That's it. In the end, it's just preference. All right, these are two characters that Eris likes in season 2. You buffed him and you nerfed him.
Was that it? What was that the presentation on Kazuya and Jin?
Right? But these characters are extremely similar. I don't have a taste for them, but I don't.
These characters are extremely similar.
Fuck. I'm glad these characters in the game. I wouldn't want either one of them nerfed, but watch this. Their main move is a heavy execution, good move.
These characters are extremely
Good
similar.
low pokes. And now this. His follow-up, up forward 4. His is nerfed.
Does upward 4. Thump. Then dramatic lean forward. His is nerfed. That was beautiful. But no, Dragunov and Devil Jin are far from the same character. You'd think it's obvious. Devil Jin is way more all-round than Dragunov, even though Dragunov is pretty all-round with some of the most oppressive mids, strings, highs, while running 2 says it all. He has a perfect throw game, a very strong throw game, but he really lacks devastating lows. And this is where you can quickly look at Devil Jin and see a hell sweep that launches down back 2, down 3. Strong lows. Up 4 is a panic move, which is great. Dragunov has a backswing blow. They do quite different things. Dragunov has no mid-homing move whatsoever. Devil Jin has multiple options. You have a laser, cannon, scraper. You have forward 1+2, although that's unsafe. Most people are not going to use that. Forward 4 is a high homing move, which is quite similar to Dragunov's forward 3. But they're very different. You know, Devil Jin has an electric. Devil Jin has a proper 50-50. Dragunov just doesn't have that. Dragunov is played usually very oppressive play, whereas Devil Jin really can do anything. So I wouldn't say these characters are very close to each other.
And didn't his frame trap got nerfed. He is nothing but a frame trap. So you nerf his up forward 4 follow-up, he has it. You nerf his frame trap, he has a ton of frame traps. When all it is preference.
Not really. Of course it's preference in type of what character you like to play, but Devil Jin, even though upward 4 was nerfed, he still has some of the best mids in the game. You know, Demon Paw, Demon Steel Pedal, Laser Scraper for people who step, Twin Lancer, downward 1-2, much better than Dragunov's downward 1. While standing 4 is super strong. Upward 4 is still really good. And he has a devastating 50-50. Yeah, he seriously has an unseeable launching low.
That's
it's completely different.
This shouldn't have happened. It doesn't matter. These guys should have the same fucking tools, the same things under the hood, Well, you should just gave him his new move. I like that he got buffed. I don't give a fuck. But his that while standing bullshit. Every fucking low in the game could be launch punishable at him. You listen. That needs to go to 13 frames. That's bullshit. All right, that kind of like breaks the rules. But other than that, I like that where he's at right now. But why nerf him? All this does is the people who put the work in with him.
They nerfed Devil Upward 4 because it was just ridiculous. It was one of the dumbest moves in the game. Already a pretty perfect all-round, very strong, the go-to Mishima, and his 50-50 was just unbelievably brain dead. I mean, the fact that he ever had that, just looking back at it now, I always thought it was ridiculous. And it really was. I still think he's stronger than Kazuya, just due to the fact that he's so all-round. Even if he lost that mid, he's still stronger than Kazuya in my opinion. And that tells you all you need to know in how he was, by a mile, you know, the only Mishima you needed to play in Season 1 and 2, if you played competitively.
This stuff's still in the game. And all it is preference of what character you want. But everybody wants the same tools. It's just preference of who you want to pick. So, okay, so how do we fix this and get it back? Well, you do it exactly like you would a business. Okay, for example, I'm a gym player. I'm not happy with what happened, and what happened was kind of bullshit. So, what I can do is, I walk up.
It was kind of bullshit. Season 2 Jin was a fucking joke. Obviously, super hard to play, but still, he was way too perfect. And he's still easily top 5. Easily.
To Namco, and let's say I could reduce every single receipt that I've ever had.
I mean, if he thinks that's bullshit, I'm very happy he's not a Gigas main.
From Tekken 1 all the way up to here, because I bought all those games, and I bought all the DLCs, and I could walk up to the business and be like, Namco, this is my receipt. Here. I was satisfied with this product when I bought it, with my character. I was happy. What you guys did to it a month ago, I'm not happy with it. I understand why you did it, but doing it was wrong. I want it fixed. And you have...
Imagine doing that. You nerfed Kazuya, so I show up at Bandai Namco headquarters in Tokyo with my game and the receipt. I'm angry, get my money back. You nerfed my character.
The right to do that. The people who are not satisfied actually have the right, because this is in Namco. It's just smart business to be like, okay, you're right. We tried it. Here's your 4-4 and your down back 4. Here it is.
Imagine if they did that, you know, everyone who shows up in person with their game and remember the receipt, you know, they go, oh, you know what, you didn't like that nerf? Here, have it back. That would probably escalate and go, you know, that's gonna become a clusterfuck pretty quickly, Jeremy, if they did that. You know, of course things happen to characters where the mains of those characters aren't too happy. You know, a lot of Geese mains were frustrated going into Season 3, but if we could just say, hey, revert that, and they did, you know, we wouldn't have a game, to be honest. In a way, you kind of have to trust them that they know what they're doing.
And then all those customers are now happy. This is just normal business. And then you could be like, call up all the Kazuya players, be like, listen, we know you've needed these things for a while. We're going to give you these new tools. Here you go. Now all they're happy. Miguel.
I think what he means here is that he's acknowledged that Kazuya's bad poking. So what he means is that so Kazuya players can do the same thing, call Bandai Namco and say, give us pokes. And they're like, oh, sure, we want to keep our customers happy. Here's a 13 frame downward one with an extension, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, is that really what you want? You know, as artists, the developers have made this choice that Jin is going to be his own thing, and Kazuya is going to be his own thing, and the entire character is designed around having weak poking. And that's what makes him interesting. So you want to break that because you have quite a lot of players who just want, you know, all of their characters to be perfect. Just buff, 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 you know. Why doesn't Yoshimitsu have Kazumi's pokes? I hear that a lot by Yoshi players. Give him strong pokes. And it's like, that's not what he's meant to be. Why would you play Kazumi if Yoshimitsu had his crazy stuff and as well strong poking? It's like, that's why the characters stand out. That's what makes them interesting. Why would you want to make everyone the same thing?
The guild players, hey, Safety Black, we fucked up your character. We were trying something new. It didn't work out the way we intended it to. We're sorry. Here, we fixed your character. We gave it back. And all the other like characters who's been buffed, you guys get to keep your new tools. Now everybody's happy. That's just smart business. And I'm just giving you guys, let you know you have the right to do this, and you can start contacting the people with this type of information. But do it respectfully. Because remember, we're all on the same fucking team.
I mean, can you imagine this logic? I mean, just thinking about it for 2 seconds, it crumbles together, you know, immediately. But they released nerfs for Akuma, as they did, you know, in season 3. And all Akuma players start crying on Twitter, oh, revert the nerfs. Oh, okay, we gotta make a good business decision according to Jeremy. Oh, revert the nerfs. The nerfs are gone. Akuma is still crazy. Oh, Leroy players. Oh, you nerfed Leroy. Oh, okay. Leroy players are unhappy. Oh, revert the nerfs. Leroy's back to launch state. 4-3 is a launcher, etc. I mean, can you imagine how many people would not see that as a good business decision? Everyone getting, you know, it's... And
I'm going to put this out right now. Gym players, you can ask for your forward 4 and your down back 4 shit back. Those moves are not cheap. They're not overpowered. You're not brain dead. You don't suck for using those moves. Remember, back in the day, I used to be called cheap for using lows and throws. And then all of a sudden, the last couple months, I'm called fucking cheap for using forward 4 and down back 4 when I've been using that shit for over a decade. No. There's nothing wrong with those moves at all. And when you ask for those things back, I promise you, nobody's going to say shit. Nobody's going to say shit. And Namco, it is the right thing to do to give those things back. But you could, and I could see somebody asking me, what, Jeremy, you can't win without them? I still beat the fucking brakes off my friends with Jin. That hasn't changed at all. It doesn't matter if I have them or not, because you can win with anybody in Tekken. It's just the right fucking thing to do. What? And not only that, for example, I'm going to show you. All right. In Tekken 7, I've been picking up one character slowly at a time because I'm just like everybody else. I mean, I've had jobs and shit like that and work and have other life, and one character is difficult enough. I don't do this shit for a living, and I got other shit going on. So, I mean, the next character I want to pick up is Jack again because I used to use him in Tag 2.
Oh God, 13 minutes left. Oh.
He'll be the next one, then I'll move on. But here's 4 other of my other characters that I use, that I've been using in Tekken 7. They have the exact same fucking thing that y'all just nerfed on Jin. They have both. All right, here's 4 other characters that have a long range mid kick that only on counter hit does a full launcher. And with those characters, I don't have to commit to any fucking thing. I don't have to commit to a Zen. And Gym players, you shouldn't have to commit to a Zen. Because Gym players have had to fucking, I didn't have to use 4-4 a lot, but I'm not like Cherry Berry Mango who's fucking facing killers where he has to use a bunch of safe moves. But I want that shit back, and I want it back for the Tekken community. He's even said it didn't change the way he played it all because it's very hard to counter hit top Tekken players. And he's right. He doesn't. I mean, it hasn't changed anything for him. What you actually have hurt is the other thousands of fucking Jin players. But yeah. But anyway, instead of this, I'm just going to show you 4 other characters got the exact same fucking move, and Jin's had to rely on this kind of stuff because he's like the only Mishima that if I do a whiff punish with his hook fist and I drop the electric, unlike my Kazuya Heihachi, I still get a launcher, but with Jin, I don't get a launcher. So I have to rely on other fucking tools. It's not cheap to have those fucking tools. And here's 4 other characters who have the exact same fucking thing. Nobody's going to say shit. Watch.
Oh, Christ almighty. Oh, for God's sake, Jeremy. Come on, you're just trolling now. Oh. Is this Lil Majin? Holy shit.
Down back 4. Alright, Jin Kazama. Gotta play Tekken now. Can't get all your life missing from a counter hit low at range 2. You have to actually play the game.
Okay.
And yes, Little Majin, I'm not going to let you fucking live that one down. I mean, but you're going to have to take it with a grain of salt because I fucking roast everybody. But, I mean, Tekken characters are no different than like fucking, the players who use them. Okay, all it is fucking preference. Everybody wants these tools and needs these tools because when it comes down to it, in the end.
So just again, in 2 seconds, why was Jin's down back 4 so crazy? Well, it's because it was one of those, you know, like Kazumi and Kazuya down back 4. It's a 20 frame fast low that builds momentum. It does some damage on hit, which is nice, and then on hit it's +3. Many of those other lows he showed were lows that are launch punishable, and on hit, you know, give you like Kazuya's gives you +1, King's gives you like +2, but they're launch punishable. Jin's was a 20 frame momentum building low, +3 on hit, that launches on counter hit and was -13, so not launch punishable, except for very few, you know, characters like Kazuya, Eddie, Josie, Akuma. So it's like it was a perfect low, basically. It was miles above King's down back 3. King's down back 3, he trades his life every time he does that. He takes the risk of losing his entire health bar. And it's only +2 on hit, you know. Jin's is +3, so it's...
Everybody's going to see.
Can't compare those.
Game. It's not about the fucking characters. They should have these tools because in the end, it's still going to be about the fucking mind game.
And King's is slow.
I mean, these characters are no different than the fucking Tekken players themselves. Okay, for example, like
the Yoshi comparison was just a launch punishable low.
There is a lot of fucking similarities because we look at the game the same way. We both hate online. We like playing with our friends. We're both dickheads. We both fucking roast every single fucking person that we know. And we use the same vocabulary. We call people fucking retards. We tell them to suck dicks. And we're just... We got a fucking lot of comments.
Does
If I ever
Aries
met the
do
dude,
that?
we'd probably play the game of roasting each other until somebody fucking laughs, and then whoever laughs loses. I'd probably lose because that motherfucker's funny, but we're extremely similar in a lot of things, but we have completely fucking different taste. I mean, he doesn't like Challengers, and I don't like Chargers. I like working out. I like two-door sports cars. He's about dad bods and having a four-door dad mobile that goes fast, but we both want fucking Hellcats. We just want different kinds. We just have different tastes, and that's okay. I mean, are your fucking eyes open? Just fucking look at us. Okay, so
Basically twins.
basically, I just want to explain why this shit is so important. And I could say this shit through fucking through experience because I've already been through this. I've already had my own little small fucking Tekken community that's been separate from the big Tekken community, and the exact same things that were happening in my small Tekken community are happening on a much bigger scale right now because, I mean, human nature is the same. I could tell you what's going on and the way it's going to pan out, and also how it gets fixed because I've already fucking been through that. I can tell you step by step. Like right now, the mindset Namco has you've created a bigger problem for yourself because what has happened is you've got people complaining and on the wrong mindset of the way the game is designed and works and how people win at it. What you've done is, now I understand what you were doing. You were trying to listen to the Tekken community. The only problem was you didn't realize you were listening to the wrong people. The right people were quiet, but now we're coming out and we're speaking up. So please listen, because if you listen to me, everybody wins. But what has happened now is now...
Legendary Swedish actor Max von Sydow has passed away at 90 years old. Damn. Fucking one of the greatest of all time.
People they're complaining, but what you've done is you set up a scenario where all you're going to do is get more complaining. And that's what's happening in the Tekken community. And I don't need to fucking tell you, I'm sure you're getting the backlash of it. Because now, people who complain are fucking justified in it. You've given trolls the power. And now they're justifying. And what that's doing is causing
Alexander
damage in the Tekken
Skarsgård.
community. And the reason this is so important is because there's
He's
a lot
good,
of people who
but I'm more of a
Tekken
fan of
calls.
his father.
And I don't want to see that. The reason
That
I'm
long.
doing this is to bring Namco and the players and everything back together and put where it should be on a solid foundation. Everybody's on the same page.
King J wants
And
to
then
fight
the
me,
Tekken
or
community
does he want to fight
grows.
Jeremy or me?
But from my past experiences, what it does is it causes damage and puts people in the wrong mindset, and it causes complaining and division and more complaining. Now, what will happen is if you listen and you unnerf the characters that were unjustly
Yeah, we can do that, King J.
nerfed, you unnerf them, you leave the other characters that you buffed strong. What will happen is you'll make all those players happy, right? And there'll be a
I
big
just have
group, and then
four more
finally
minutes of
now
this.
that the stuff was taken away and was given back, all the good players will start to speak up because you're still going to have your toxic little fucking group over here, right? But what will happen is this group will talk to this group to get their head out of their ass. Now, the ones who are in the toxic group will, who love the game and stuff like that, and you'll be able to talk some sense into them, and they'll see what they're what the good group's talking about, and they'll start. What they'll do is they'll adapt, and what they'll do is they'll become better. For example, like
Later or
like,
tomorrow.
I used to be called chief. For
Wait, we
doing
can do
those
it later
in
today.
My, old group. Now, when I'm playing those same people, when I throw them, if I get a throw off, they get more mad at themselves that they missed the throw break, and they constantly break my throws, And the thing about it is now when they break the throws, it's doing them a service because they feel gratified more that they broke the throw. Not that I stopped throwing them. It's that they figured out how to get around that shit. And what that's going to do is it made them better. Made them better players, put them in a better mindset, and it just helps them be better people because, you know, with that kind of mindset, you could transfer that shit over into life. And that's what's going to happen in the big Tekken community where everybody will start to see this. And then those ones who used to complain will see this. They'll be gratified. They'll be even more satisfied when they start to learn how to get around all the stuff that they were having trouble with and difficulty, and then start to figure out that it wasn't that they were thinking those moves were cheap, but they'll figure out, they'll be like, wait,
I'm just gonna go take a piss
now
real
I'm starting
quick.
to figure it out. And it's more rewarding for them. Now they'll become part of the big good group, and that group's just going to keep growing. And then you will have your toxic little fucking group that will refuse to change no matter what anybody says. And those fucking guys, and I've seen those little fucking pieces of shits in the comments around in the Tekken community. I see those little fuckers, but what's going to happen is their justification, the justification you gave them is now taken away, and now it's been put back with the good Tekken players. And now they can turn around, and the toxic people have no more power. And if they refuse to change, eventually they'll be fucking exiled. And then all you're going to do is have a more solid, stronger Tekken community, and that's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and it's going to make the game even more hype and more hype and more hype and more strong. And who knows where it goes from there. And what do I get in return for this? I get both my mains where they need to be. I get all my friends' mains where they need to be. I get the Tekken community happy. I get Namco's reputation even stronger than it's ever been, and everybody together and everybody on the right mindset to start focusing on the mind games and not the characters. And to know that this is actually a chess match, and it has nothing to do with the fucking characters they have. So it is important. And what that'll do is it's going to make the game fucking more popular. When other people start seeing this, they're going to be like, wait a minute, this really fucking hype game Tekken over here, man, it's really badass to watch, and I heard it's really hard. I want to and I heard that the owners basically tell everybody, don't ask me for shit and to fuck off. I want to play that game. What they're going to do is they're going to come over and they're going to start playing it. And I'm like, man, this game's really fucking hard. Holy shit, I'm getting my ass kicked. What the fuck's going on? I spent all this fucking money on this crazy looking weird fucking controller that has all these buttons and shit just so I could do some of these hard fucking moves. And what you're telling me is that one of these, every single character has over 100 fucking plus moves. Not only does they're so fucking difficult that I got to put all this fucking work into one character, then I have to learn all the other characters just so I can learn the fucking matchup of all their moves, and there's 45 plus fucking characters, and then even after all that, I could get mentally ass raped by somebody. You guys are fucking crazy. This will take a fucking lifetime. This will take longer than a lifetime. You guys are fucking idiot, psychotic for this fucking game. Welcome to Tekken, you little bitch.
When I hit you up, I'm talking about banging.
To this group to get.
I came in at the right time, I can see. Can anyone summarize what he said the last 10 minutes? Because I couldn't understand a thing. Anyone? Summary? Tekken is hard. Tekken is hard. Juicy cocks. Right. But I'm so disappointed. Why do you all recommend
So
me
what can
these
I do to get
videos
you
when
into a four-door leather interior gin today? Can't beat that new gin smell.
I thought I was going to get, this is Kazuya, this is Jin, look how similar they are. He talked about cars for 20 minutes and then had a segment where he showed their moves next to each other, and they were not the same at all, and there's no text to explain everything, there's no voiceover. He did, in fact, mention ass rape. When did he do that, Manny? Can you give me a timestamp? Hope you're doing well, sir. But, alright. Alright. Just now, okay. Ass rape. Alright. As you do when you talk about Jin and Kazuya. I gotta mention ass rape somewhere in that video. Okay. Good shit, Jeremy.